Hi, I'm Frank, and today I'm going to show you how to do time and frequency measurements in InstrumentStudio using PXI oscilloscopes. So to do this, I'm connected to a PXI chassis, and that has a waveform generator connected directly to channel 0 of my oscilloscope. Let's get started. So since I'm only using 2 instruments in this video, I'm going to create a manual layout with my oscilloscope in the large panel so that I can interact with that signal, see it better, and then the waveform generator on the small panel. Great. Now the first thing to do is to set up my output, which will be a sine wave, and I'm going to make this 1 kilohertz. Amplitude for time frequency isn't that important, so I'll just leave it at 1 volt, peak to peak, and no offset. All right. So I've turned the output on. I'm going to quickly configure my scope to work with this waveform generator. And so I'm going to choose the input impedance to match load impedance. Great. I'll just adjust my time per division so that we can see the signal a little better, and my volts per division as well. All right. So the first thing I want to do is to measure the period of the signal. And to do that, I'll use cursors. So by default, cursors are set to work with the time axis. And I'll put cursor 1 on the first peak and cursor 2 on that second peak. And I'm seeing a delta X of 1 millisecond. Of course, the inverse of that is the frequency, which is 1 kilohertz. That's what I would expect here on my output from the waveform generator. I have a 1 kilohertz sine wave. Perfect. All right, so I'm looking at my signal in the time domain here, but what if I want to view it in the frequency domain? Well, InstrumentStudio makes it easy to add a virtual channel for fast Fourier transform. So you can see there's a new plot here at the bottom. And to view that better, I'm going to minimize my time domain in my measurements table. All right. So in the frequency domain, you can see that my largest spike is here for the fundamental frequency. Let's zoom in a little bit on the x-axis so we can see that better. And I'm just using my mouse's scroll wheel to do that. And now you can see fundamental frequency at about 1 kilohertz. Now, InstrumentStudio also includes a feature called markers that will let you find all of those peaks, including the fundamental frequency and the harmonics. So I have the first marker at the fundamental frequency of 1 kilohertz. And I can add another marker, which will then find the next highest peak. So in this video, you saw how to take time and frequency measurements using a loopback test from a waveform generator to an oscilloscope in InstrumentStudio. Thanks for joining.